Greetings, YouTube. Healthcare is a human right. On Tuesday, January 23rd, 2018, Senator Bernie Sanders held a town hall to discuss Medicare for all and the problems of Americans' healthcare system. The majority of the 90-minute town hall focused on laying out the pragmatic case for single payer. It costs less and it works better. The United States spends about 17% of GDP on healthcare versus roughly 9 to 10% around 9 to 11% in other G7 industrialized democracies. For all the spending, the United States lags far behind in outcomes. Another quote: the event was noteworthy not just for its substance, 100 minutes worth of wonkish discussion of the finer points of universal health care modes from Canada, Norway, and elsewhere, but for the incredible audience it drew. More than 1 million people tuned into the live stream. That's from Boing Boing. Now, I've been advocating for a universal healthcare system for quite a while now, probably longer than my channel has been around. And my channel's coming up on its 9th anniversary in March. And I know that Bernie Sanders is not an angel. He is a politician and he has done questionable things in the past. For example, supporting anti-choice Democrats, which still confuses the out of me, an anti-choice Democrat, supporting anti-choice Democrats just so that someone would beat a Republican. But if you back a politician who is essentially a Republican, except for the name, you're not gaining anything. And we don't need anti-choice politicians, period. I don't care what their party affiliation is. But what we do need in the world, or specifically in the United States, is universal health care. The United States has horrible outcomes as far as healthcare is concerned, as almost spending twice as much as many countries out there, 17% of our GDP. That's insane. 17% of our GDP on healthcare, and we have worse results for it. We leave millions of people without any healthcare at all. People go bankrupt. In the United States, one of the leading causes of bankruptcy is medical costs. Go to France, go to Germany, go to Norway. Ask people how many of their citizens have gone bankrupt because of medical costs. And not only is our system an absolute abomination, but the politicians have convinced the GOP base to defend it. I work with a woman who is Canadian. She's been in the United States, I don't know, 45 years, maybe 40 years. Her accent is still so heavy you can barely understand that she's using English. Okay? She is a Quebecois. She is definitely from Canada. And I have heard her tell me repeatedly how bad the Canadian healthcare system is. A system that doesn't let people die because they're ill. Is it perfect? No. In fact, the Canadian system is probably the worst of the lot. But it's still better than what we have. And people always say, well, you have to wait a really long time. You get an appointment for a doctor in America, how long you have to wait to get one? I had to wait 6 months once to get an appointment to have my skin looked at for a wart. 6 months. So don't tell me that the system is better than the ones in other countries when it costs more, it leaves people not covered, and it bankrupts them. So it causes financial ruin, misery, suffering, and death. And yet, Americans, for some strange reason, defend it. I'm glad Mr. Sanders is speaking out about this. And while he's not perfect, he is no angel. And I would gladly support him in an election. I would prefer someone that's a little less questionable myself. But I do appreciate him speaking out about this. I do appreciate his efforts to push the concept of Medicare for all. I want a system to make sure that no human being is left behind. That doesn't seem like a real stretch for me, particularly in a nation that claims to be Christian. Don't let the least suffer. Somehow I get a feeling that would be a policy that Jesus would endorse.